Crypto 105 Forks. Learn more at bitcoinblockchaincrypto.com. The Bitcoin blockchain is really just a ledger of all transactions of Bitcoins sent back and forth and generated. Think of it as like a long road just moving forward. All these transactions and the ability for this road to just continue moving forward is done by the miners, who are essentially committing transactions to this ledger. But what happens if they disagree on how to do it? So if different miners of the same blockchain suddenly have a change in the software used, where some of the miners use one version of the software and some of the miners use an older version of the software, you may have what's called a fork, similar to a road splitting off into two. Now, if it's a soft fork, then the road continues to be one road. It's just that some miners who have the newest software will be able to validate certain transactions that old people running the old software may not be able to, but they're still both able to continue building on the same blockchain. In a hard fork, the differences between the miners running the old protocols and the miners running the new protocols are so different that it turns into two blockchains going forward, like an actual fork in the road. Essentially, the list of transactions for both blockchains up to this point are identical since they both started out in the same place. So if you had coins on one blockchain, you now have coins on the other blockchain. The most well-known example of a hard fork is the currency known as Bitcoin Cash. There was a fundamental disagreement within the Bitcoin community about how Bitcoin should evolve. People supporting what's currently called the proper Bitcoin blockchain did not want to increase the size of a block. The reason is to prevent the blockchain file from getting too large. So instead, wanted to facilitate more transactions and faster transaction speeds through things like segregated witness and Lightning Network over time. The other side felt that it was time to increase the size of blocks so that way they could hold more transactions per block to resolve an increased capacity of the Bitcoin blockchain right now. In 2017, a group of miners decided to change the protocol to increase the size of blocks up to 8 megabytes. And this blockchain, this fork, became known as Bitcoin Cash, which currently does have faster transaction times than the original Bitcoin blockchain, as a Lightning Network is yet to be released. After the split off of Bitcoin Cash, there was a soft fork on the Bitcoin proper blockchain, adding the feature of segregated witness, which allows certain nodes and miners to be able to use special SegWit addresses and make it easier to confirm transactions. Not all Bitcoin transaction processors take advantage of SegWit, which contributes to the current congestion on the Bitcoin network. The Bitcoin Cash hard fork was successful in that it showed that a currency can fork and then both currencies can still coexist and develop themselves. And now what's happened is that whenever a cryptocurrency is about to hard fork, there's generally a run in the currency right beforehand on those who want to participate in the fork. Although there's been several Bitcoin forks since Bitcoin Cash's successful fork, that you basically are starting to see diminishing returns, where the saturation of hard forks of Bitcoin are becoming less and less valued as people are becoming fatigued. Although now we're starting to see the exploration of hard forking other cryptos. Bitcoin Cash might be soon hard forked, Ethereum might be hard forked, and this opens up the door to all sorts of possible permutations of cryptocurrency, which leads to some uncertainty as to what the future of current cryptocurrency will look like. One thing that can be said is that there's a value in holding sort of the main coins, that's just Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Ethereum, because if people are going to continue forking these particular currencies, then you by virtue will get to own many of the future currencies as these hard forks occur. Although the fear always is that there'll be so many hard forks that it might oversaturate the market and hurt the value of all cryptocurrencies. So far, this has not yet played out, but it's always a fear in the back of people's minds. Now, in order to access your coins on these new forked blockchains, you have to use your private key from the address where you held your original currency on the legacy blockchain. So because of this, you should be very careful and make sure to always move your older currency to a new wallet before entering your private key on the new blockchain, because if your private key is compromised, well then your holdings are compromised. Not all exchanges support all hard forks. So if your currency is held on an exchange that doesn't support the hard fork, you may never be able to access the tokens on the new blockchain. Please visit my website, bitcoinblockchaincrypto.com, to learn more. Subscribe to my podcast, the Bitcoin Blockchain Crypto Podcast, on iTunes, Google Play, and Stitcher. If you enjoyed this video and want to support my ability to make more and continue educating people, please make a donation at donate.alexmerced.com.